Okay, so Alison, did I describe Refinery 29 correctly as a digital magazine, you know, a daily one? And how did it start off in the beginning? I mean, what was the thought process? Has it totally changed from the very beginning to what it is today?
Yeah, so I don't know how long you guys have known about Refinery, followed Refinery, but we've actually been around since 2005. It's a little known fact. So it was actually around 4 years before I joined. And I actually discovered Refinery, interestingly enough, from the editors of Elle, which is where I was at the time. And they used it as a daily resource for inspiration for the fashion shoots that they were doing. So I found it was really interesting that editors from Elle were using another media entity to inspire their the things that they were writing about. So anyways, we actually started out as a mall map. So I don't know if you saw us in the early days, but it was actually a really smart idea and behind our founders, in that they wanted to create this destination where you could come and you could see independent boutiques from across the country and really learn about, you know, emerging designers. I'm sure we covered you both in the very early days, and that was.
Speak how you covered them.
So the way that we.
Or you would cover them today, is it different?
You know, I think what's special about Refinery is it hasn't changed. The way that we cover, you know, Rebecca Minkoff or Danny Joe is going to be the same today as it was when we started in 2005. And that's that we really want to know the story behind the brand. You know, Rebecca talked about the Ivory Tower, and that's the very opposite of what we wanted to create out of the fashion industry in general. I think the fashion industry can be really intimidating. It can be something that feels a little bit exclusive, and Refinery wanted to be a place where they were creating fashion as fun and really a democracy, and empowering people to really participate in the conversation and take fashion for what it was and really own their own personal style. So it started off really being about discovery of these really amazing independent boutiques. We had sort of a fashion blog on the side, and the fashion blog that, you know, was written really from our founder's point of view, who's currently still our editor-in-chief, is what took off. It was sort of seeded amongst all these influencers. People shared it, and then it evolved in 2009 into a locally based site as well. So we were able to sort of deconstruct these global trends and make them locally relevant by showing you what can you find in your backyard in addition to you know, what you can find in Paris or in Milan. So it really made things personal, and I think that was the turning point for Refinery, where we were able to make fashion feel at once intimate while at the same time sort of inspirational and bigger than yourself. So we started building up the local content. We simultaneously started to go into other areas outside of fashion, because really, if you're thinking about style, it pertains to every single aspect of your life. You know, we want to know where Rebecca's going out to dinner at night as much as we want to know what, you know, design she has coming up in her next collection. We want to know where the Danny Joe sisters are taking their vacations. So we started covering style in a way that it was not just relegated to apparel or footwear. It was really, how can you live a very stylish life and be inspired in everything you do?